there's a lot of love for Shedeur. For as much hate as there is a lot of love. Shedeur Sanders is the worst quarterback since the last Browns quarterback. I've been getting some nasty comments, man. So it's time for me to read them. Obviously, every weekend we do this. Every week we do this. Today, we are going to be reading every single comment on the last comment video. And as well, remember, every comment on this video, I will read. So go ahead and drop your comment down below. TK says, the 1 week of practice statement you can tell was him being funny. His whole persona changed from serious to funny after he finished the statement. He went back to being serious. It's intentional. Their willful ignorance. I want to put something out because he's referring to the video. Obviously, Shedeur after his first win, being so excited. And you know, here's my thing. I am a Shedeur lieutenant. Like y'all know me. But I like to think that I'm like the Shedeur, the see you auntie whisperer. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? I bring a little bit of, you know what I'm saying, a little different flavor to it. I like to see both sides. Thank you so much for watching. If you're watching this video, this is a compilation of some of my videos from the previous year. I'm taking a very important break for some very important people. But when we get back, we'll be back to NIL news, everything Shedeur Sanders, and all crazy stories when it comes to football. Thank you so much for watching. Enjoy the rest of your video. Subscribe if you're new here. You'll be great. Of it and all of this, the thing that makes me so mad and makes me upset that people try to go at Shedeur fans. It's like, y'all are getting mad at Shedeur for being funny and being charismatic. Like, why is it that him, again, having a sense of humor after his first win, joke a little bit, why does that need to be taken out of context? Why can't him enjoying playing a child's game? It's football. I don't know why everyone has to take it so serious. Guys, it is not that serious. They're getting paid millions of dollars to play a kid's game. And we're like, oh, have some respect. Have some decor. For what? I throw a football around, dog. My job is to throw a ball. And you want me to be serious? Like, dog, get out of here. And people want to make him the victim, or not the victim. They want to make him the villain in so many scenarios. It's like, this is why people are so passionate about Shedeur. He can't even joke after a win without the crazy Twitter pages talking about, and this is the problem with young black men in America. But anyway, Elaine Smith says, did you see Shiloh Thanksgiving dinner video? It's hilarious. By the way, if you watch my comment video, you probably might be interested in my second channel. My second channel is Tings 200 or Tings 2. It's linked. You can just go on my channel. There's like some duets there. It's green. I might link it in this video. But if you want some reaction stuff, it's a little more laid back with, you know, I like to bring my stats and facts in these videos. That channel is for more, hey, we just reacting to stuff. We seeing cool stuff. It might not even be a little less adjacent to football. So y'all go check that out if you want to do it. Appreciate you, Lane Smith, for the comment. Mrs. Green 878 says, in the Bible, it is in the Bible how you have people that hate God and people that believe and talk about God. I mean, talk about it now. Let's talk about it. You know, there's so many people who say that they are of this ilk of being religious and God fearing and God loving. But in my days in church, I was taught to be a loving person through those things, to love thy neighbor, to put people in certain particulations and you know, make sure that you're there for certain people. And it seems that the willful ignorance to try to keep him or take Shedeur out of context in certain circumstances is kind of interesting. Trying to make him the bearer of the things because you don't like his fan base is very, very not too great. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's just a lot of nastiness on those sides. So Big Trizzy says, interesting comment video. It's just amazing how many people see not only Shedeur, but also any athlete in any sport. When Shedeur's peers has nothing but positive things to say about him. That's a phenomenal point. It tells you everything you need to know about him, not only as a player, but also as a human being as well. WVidTings. Shout out to Trizzy. Trizzy is on both of my channels, dropping not just hey comments. Nah, he be watching the video. He drops engaged comments. My guy Trizzy, I think he's still in here. Appreciate you. I appreciate that a lot. And yeah, there you go, Deontay. Look at this. Hey man, hey Leanne, y'all all in the street. Y'all my real people, man. I appreciate y'all, man. I really appreciate y'all watching, supporting, and doing these things, man. So Deontay says he doesn't Saquon Barkley himself. Damn, I'm an you can't Saquon Barkley yourself, man. If you know, you know. That's a great one. And Leanne, and I like doing this when I do the comment videos. Anytime we have somebody who references a part of the video, we can talk about it.
Choose
with
a
the fresh
side,
face, right? Oh,
should I be ashamed of the glory that the God gives to me? Should I not speak his name as the first thing I say?
Johnny Root don't want you to do it. MAGA probably don't want you to do it. But hey, I don't really care what they thinking about, because we going to keep living the way that we need to live. And that goes with, hey, Dylan Gabriel. And that's why I highlight what he does too. He gives back to his local community. He uses throughout his college careers, use his NIL money to give new uniforms to his old alma mater in high school. That boy got a fresh Pacifica deal. I think he does like some charity with the Pacifica deal. He's a good dude. By the way, can y'all tell the green screen is improved? Huh? Y'all yelled at me for weeks about it, so I got a real green screen. Gabriel is not a bad guy. He's honestly not a bad college quarterback. Y'all know how I feel about college quarterbacks getting their shine. Anyway, the thing that I was saying, shout out to Leanne so much for pointing this out. Yeah, I stand 10 toes on that, right? I think it's so interesting. And y'all know me, I'm a God-fearing man. I don't go to church every day. I don't read my Bible every day. I drop some curse words from time to time. I'm not living in the best way. So, I would never cast that stone against people. But it's so jarring to me in a world where people try to, they hate the new generation. They hate this. Shedeur is like an old school type of, hey, thank God. My dad told me to do this. Hey, I'm going to do this. So it's so interesting in a world where I feel like that's starting to be praised. Why do y'all not like Shedeur? Like, I'm mistaken somehow. I'm not supposed to be confident. I'm not supposed to walk in a certain level of confidence in a God that is supposed to be almighty and looking out for what I do and providing my people with beautiful sustenance so much that I can provide for other people amazing stuff. I mean, again, unless you don't like that stuff, unless you don't like the positives that are within the word, I don't understand. I don't get it. But if you don't like it, hey, I guess it's not for you. We got to call a spade a spade. A lot of these people are evil. Light disturbs darkness. Hey, I mean, it's just that's what you think. Sax God says, I got Sunday ticket for the rest of the year for $48 so I can watch Shedeur in Cleveland. I'm a Cowboy fan, desperately wishing Steven or Jerry trading for the man, but once he starts popping off in Cleveland, won't let him go. I'm sure Barry was never going to trade him while he's there. It's so good to see. First off, y'all gonna see them numbers, the Sunday ticket numbers. I want to see the statistics when Shedeur was named the starter, because they probably got a crazy bump whenever that happened, because you got people just like, I gotta spend the money to see my guy 12. That's dope to see. Great comment. Demona, I believe, Kuna, says he didn't even want to give Shedeur the ball, just told him quick and good job. John Root said this in one of the reasons why many people not rooting for Shedeur, but the crowd went crazy when he got in the game. Media people think the world is stupid, and that's another thing. I do want to point something out. One of my supporters said this in the video, and he's like, some of the hate is fake hate for Shedeur. And I want to say, you're partially right, because when you go out and you see the way that the Browns react to him, and when you see the way that, certain people react to 12, like, it's overwhelming. People, they yell his name, they do all that stuff. Actually, yeah, man. Like, this is what... So I do want to say, and I forgot, I'm sure, they'll see this video. Comment down below if you know who I'm talking about. But there's a lot of love in Shedeur, right? There's a lot of love for Shedeur. For as much hate as there is a lot of love, especially in Cleveland. I think it's a great thing to see. It's a beautiful thing to see. And of course, it should be easy because, we've talked about it 1,000 times. Since Shedeur has gotten there, he's done nothing but want to give back to the community. If you are a Cleveland fan, if you're a fan of the city of Cleveland, you probably should be a fan of Shedeur. He's given back to multiple things. He's given away cars. He's putting, different time into the community. He's gone to high school games. He's been there. He's been training at different... So it's like, if you enjoy enriching Cleveland, and if you enjoy, and if that's really your city, right, if that's really your place to be, XYZ, you should probably really want Shedeur to be a new face of it and kind of help those things as well. 5'9" with tissues in his shoes. Okay. All right. I don't want to get too deep on this, right? We like our guy Dylan Gabriel, right? But he's not 5'11". Like, can we all agree he's not 5'11", right? He's 5'11". Like he said, maybe with the tissues, with cleats standing on concrete. Maybe. But anyway, he didn't look like a rookie in either game. Just made mistakes. He is being watched very closely. I'm gonna have to disagree. I think Shedeur has looked like a rookie, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I also think Cam Ward has looked like a rookie. I think that most of the rookies have looked like rookies, and I think rookies are supposed to look like rookies, especially with how bad the offensive line units for both, not both, but just talking about Cam Ward and talking about Shedeur, they both have very bad PFF rated offensive line. So I think it makes sense for them to, make some mistakes and not be great and learn the game a little bit. I think that's the best thing that happened. That coach needs to go like yesterday. Please investigate this team. Congratulations, Shedeur. Here's the game ball. You should. That's nice, though. I appreciate y'all giving him the game ball. That's dope. Love Shedeur from Irony Hez. Good. Every week they say this is the biggest game of his career. We never heard that with DG. I do want to talk about this. Because Dillon Gabriel was treated different. And the reason Dillon Gabriel was treated different is because he was supposed to be the guy. He was told, or he was, propped up to be the guy by Kevin Stefanski, by Mary Kay Cabot, by everybody else in the Browns being, hey, he's there, he's ready, he's more advanced, XYZ elemental P. And you get out there, and not to say that maybe he is reading better, maybe he is doing all that stuff, but the physical limitations are so glaring to me. Like, it's okay for a rookie to just be a rookie, you know what I'm saying? But if he what's the ceiling for Shedeur? No pun intended. Not Shedeur, for Dillon Gabriel. No pun intended. What's the ceiling that we're looking for? And in all reality, do you want a 5'9", 5'11"? This is not Russell Wilson. It's not like he has a big arm. It's not Drew Brees. It's not like he has a elite intermediate accuracy. He hasn't shown that. He's thrown some few good balls. I know we like to joke about it, but he what is the big thing as a small guy that you have? Bryce Young was a gamer, right? That's the reason Bryce Young has a noodle arm, was looked at as a noodle arm guy, but his X factor was, oh no, that dude wins games. That dude gets, when it's clutch time, that boy get nice. What is it for Dillon Gabriel? And again, I'm not saying that to be mean. I'm saying that because I've watched a lot of football, and we have to sit here and have people think that or be disingenuous in this idea that like football scouting is not about talent and the upside of different things, especially if you're a good quarterback. I want y'all to go back, and I love comparing Patrick Mahomes because he's somebody who got into a good situation. Y'all have to realize that, and this is no disrespect to Patrick Mahomes. It's amazingly talented, probably might go down as this generation's GOAT. I don't want to take anything away from Patrick Mahomes, but when people try to compare it to Patrick Mahomes, well, Patrick Mahomes had a losing record in college, right? Patrick Mahomes played in the Big 12. Like, it wasn't playing in the SEC, wasn't playing in the Big 10, wasn't playing in these quarterback. Because Shedeur played the Big 12, and apparently that's a bad league, right? Apparently that's a terrible conference, right? So Patrick Mahomes gets to a team and doesn't immediately start. Did y'all know that Patrick Mahomes was being compared to Jay Cutler? He was getting compared to Jay Cutler. No disrespect to Jay Cutler, but he's not a first ballot Hall of Fame by any means, right? He was supposed to be Jay Cutler with a bigger arm. Patrick Mahomes was a project quarterback coming out of Texas Tech, right? But Andy Reid, right? He knew what he wanted to do. He took his time. He was backing up a legend in Alex Smith, right? And I know Alex Smith has been saying some nice things about Shedeur, you know what I mean? But he's backed up a legend. He got time in a great offensive system that was built around him, that had a good defense, and was building a great offensive line for him to step into. I'm not saying Patrick Mahomes is only a product of a situation, but I'm saying that you got to see probably the best of Patrick Mahomes because of the situation. And now that he has years in, okay, now he was always doing crazy stuff. But ask Patrick Mahomes what he said after his MVP year. He said he was still learning to read defenses. But again, that don't matter to people who don't watch football, who don't keep up with these things. But go look it up. It was after his 2018 year. He said, yeah, I know it's my first year starting. I'm still kind of learning to read defenses fully. And now Patrick Mahomes, he has like this unique ability to just go and he can win a football game. He said, I'm gonna run myself like playoff Patty Mahomes. He can go win you a football game. But it don't just happen. That's not how it It's not just, oh, he just rookie and he's out there and bad offensive line, bad receivers, go do it. That's not how fostering a quarterback is. And that's why I sometimes say, yo, I feel bad for Dylan Gabriel. Because it's like you handpicked Dylan Gabriel, but you didn't do the other part of the process. You have to, if you actually like Dylan Gabriel, I'm starting to think he doesn't like Dylan Gabriel. Because if you like Dylan Gabriel, why not get him a receiver? Why not get him an offensive lineman? Especially since you hate Wyatt Teller so much, Kevin Stefanski. It just never made sense to me. Never made sense. DG can go succeed somewhere in the CFL. Hey, man, Primetime said he wanted Dylan Gabriel to succeed, so we want Dylan Gabriel to succeed. I, too, thought the fans was lying about Dylan Gabriel having concussion. There is no other way he could move on from Dylan to Shedeur and save face other than Dylan Gabriel being hurt. It's an interesting thought. I don't think that it is. I think that, the NFL is just being different with their concussion protocol. I know a lot of people have been talking about, soft benching, especially with, J.J. McCartney and stuff like that. So I think it's an interesting thought process. I don't know if you remember, but Colorado had Coach Primetime had to have a meeting because they was complaining about Jesus Christ God, but you can see how well that went. Well, there you go. I think the Browns drafted the bridge quarterback. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to downlink it. Bridge quarterback and a rookie in the same draft, Lamo. Dylan was meant to be the sacrificial bridge for Shedeur, and if he pops, that's what history will remember it as. That would be interesting. That's an idea, but again, my thing is the resources, guys. I feel like a third round pick, a top 100 pick, especially when you have so many more needs. Why not do the 1,000 other things you could do to bolster your team and help it? Trump low-key directed MAGA to big up Shedeur. Hey, I think this is super funny. MAGA has to decide how much they either love Trump or hate Shedeur. They got to decide because Trump loves Shedeur. So, what y'all gonna do? What you gonna do? You gonna make a decision. Lord Saquon caught a straight carry on. Now I believe DJ was injured. That was a quick concussion protocol. But again, I do believe he was injured. I hope he's okay. Appreciate the fires, Johnny Blanco. Leanne, of course, doing it big. Point shaving is some diabolical work, Stefanski. I had the Kaiser Sose moment once I noticed that punt against the Raiders, and this wasn't the first time he did this. Do y'all think, Kevin, that's my question. Sometimes I ask y'all a question for you to answer. Do y'all think, out of all the conspiracy theories, instead of him actually trying to sabotage or this or that, what if Kevin Stefanski just owes the mafia a bunch of money? Maybe that's what's really going on. Maybe he's point shot. Showtime, like to hear it. Yeah, all of the dumb stuff to say, even if you don't believe in God, saying someone sound arrogant because they give glory to God is insane. That might be the dumbest thing I've heard this year, I believe. Shedeur is number 12, played his first game. It was 12. He was number 12. 12 times 12 is 144, and he was picked 144. His name means light of the Almighty. We stand on and watch him work. Who should they hire as coach? Antonio Pierce. Do you think DG could be a good backup if he has a better coach? So far, it looks like he may need to get into coaching because he doesn't seem to have the physical ability. I think he might be lying about an injury. That's why he can't throw. Reminds me of the injured Drew Brees or injured Cam Newton. I guess to answer Antonio Pierce, he definitely wanted to work with Shedeur, so I don't think that's a bad idea. But also, with a DG question, I do think DG could be a good backup, if given the right resources and good coaching. Johnny Root on Twitter, he wants you to stop talking about God because it makes you arrogant. We are a week past in last comment reading video. I told you, or y'all told me, that Shedeur Sanders was ready for anything. And it seemed like that was pretty true because Shedeur Sanders obviously made history last Sunday, being the first Browns quarterback since 1999 to win his opening debut. Very big stuff, very great stuff, very legendary thing. So here, another week, another day of us reading your comments before he faces off against the 49ers. So let's hop right into it, see what y'all said. So I Am Groot says, preparation and pressure is how diamonds are made. Remember, today is not a time to get too low or too high, but celebrate Shedeur's grind, getting to this point. Let his play show us where he is at. This is just the introduction. First chapter being written game by game, man. And I'm thinking me and you, I Am Groot, I think we've had our differences in the past, and we've had conversation in the past. I got to say something. I cannot agree with you more. I cannot agree with you more. And this is 5 days ago. This is before it even happened. That's a perfect way to summarize it, right? I know a lot of people are being too high or maybe too low about it. But again, the biggest thing that we saw from Shedeur against the Raiders is that, hey, it wasn't too big for him, right? He looked like a rookie. He did some rookie things. He made some rookie mistakes. But at the end of the day, there was nothing glaring that showed me that Shedeur shouldn't have been starting. It actually showed a lot of people, hey, why haven't we been preparing this kid a little more? Like, why haven't we given him some live reps? Why don't we let him get through his rookie jitters and stuff a little quicker so we can start uncovering and unearthing what possibly could be a great elite football player? But here we are. You know what I'm saying? Oh, let me move myself over here because you got to get the comment. So, Clara Jones says he was not supposed to grovel and they need to get off of crap. I'm a 73-year-old unapologetically black that loves Shedeur and the entire Sanders family. I believe Stefanski was lying about DG's injury, and he has done this the entire time. There's a lot of shady stuff by the Browns organization that will be exposed. Stefanski is a monster. Karma is coming from. Now, again, y'all's opinions of Evan Stefanski are a lot stronger than mine, just because, again, evil and stuff like that. I think Stefanski is a terrible coach, and I think it's adequate. We don't even have to dig that deep. We can just look at his record. We can look at his offensive efficiency. We can look at the fact that he handpicked Dylan Gabriel, and he looked terrible when he was out there, right? I don't want to go deeper into hating and monster and stuff like that. Now, it doesn't mean y'all can't. But I do have to say that it seems like a pretty consistent thing from people outside the Browns, inside the Browns, is that there's something weird going on with the Browns. I think everybody can agree with that. So, this isn't normal things. This is not how a normal team operates. So it's seemingly, they're starting to have those issues there. And I do think everything that's done in the dark comes to light. We see with Brian Daboll and his lying ass. He got kicked out of Dodge, and now people are telling stuff about him, leaking stuff about him. Hey, man, hate it had to be you, Brian Daboll. Anyway, Anthony Knuckles says his dad told them to never change for nobody player. And, one of the big things that, or one of the positive things why I love standing for Deion and Shedeur is that for that exact reason. I mean, how many times when y'all were kids did your parents, and I hope it's a lot. I hope your parents told you a lot, hey, dog, don't change for nobody. You don't got to conform to nobody. You don't have to be different for anybody. I hope somebody in your life was able to tell you that. Not everyone has that luxury to tell you that. But that should be the answer. Hey, you don't need to change for nobody. You need to be unapologetically you. And that's the problem people are having, that Shedeur doesn't make himself. He doesn't mold himself. He doesn't Saquon Barkley himself and make him nice and whitewashed and ready to accept whatever the world wants to have. No, he's him. And it might be a little bit of this, it might be a little of that. You might think it's arrogant, but it's just called having confidence in yourself. So it is what it is. Dylan was thrown in a horrible situation. Deion said he wants Dylan to succeed as well. Thank you so much, Giggy Free, because I've been on this channel. I have to go back and watch. I said, hey, we are not anti-Shedeur over here. So I'm happy. I feel like some people are starting to kind of come around to it. Now, some of my fans who've been here or audience, I don't like calling them fans, audience members that have been here for a long time, y'all know how I feel about Dylan Gabriel. I am big on, hey, he is a 4th and 5th round graded player that was picked in the 3rd and was propped up by the Browns organization to be some elite supercomputer. I feel bad for Dylan Gabriel. They set him up for failure. Any quarterback under the Kevin Stefanski regime is set up for failure. You put a 5'9" quarterback out there to go run the offense. He has the most starts, most touchdowns out of college football. He's been in college for a long time. He's a good college quarterback. That does not translate to the NFL. I don't know how the Browns didn't see that, but the scouts saw it. And the scouts had Shedeur going 1st and 2nd round. So I do hope, and I do think Dylan Gabriel was a great guy. He gives back to his local community. He has the whole Pacifica thing. He's a cool guy. But there is some nastiness going on with people trying to pit them against each other. They were never against each other. Kevin Stefanski made sure of that. You feel me? Torre says, Ting, Shedeur deals with Stefanski because he is the head coach. He has to. Prime was the one who said he did not give a damn about the Browns. So Shedeur Sanders, of course, is telling him what's going on. Stefanski didn't have to ignore disrespect SS to do anything he needed to do for DG. You can't give that dude the benefit of the doubt. Nobody, really. That's how many folks have ended up in the ditch. Now, me and Torre, we've had conversations back and forth. But I want to address this because I think he makes a really good point. I try to be the voice of reason when it comes to the Shedeur lieutenants, because there's a lot of people either telling lies on Shedeur, right, as haters, and there's a lot of people telling lies for Shedeur as supporters. I don't want to be a prime equity liar. That's just not my bag, right? Do what y'all do. I'm not going to tell y'all to not do something or do this. But I want transparency. The transparent thing, Torre, is that he's right. And I've had some people in my comments say, like, yo, I'm not giving Kevin Stefanski any benefit of the doubt. Yo, I've seen what Kevin Stefanski is doing. I've seen the way that he looks at him and the other stuff. Now, for me, I want y'all to understand, I make these videos. These are proof to me. Now, on the second channel, we can go and speculate and do other stuff. But it's important and imperative that when I bring y'all facts, that they're actual facts that I can stand on. That's why I sometimes don't feed into the whole, Kevin Stefanski's this or he's that, because by and large, I can't prove it. I cannot prove it without an unreasonable doubt. Now, what I can prove without any doubt is that Kevin Stefanski is a bad coach. That his offense has been terrible. That multiple quarterbacks that play under him have been awful. I can prove that. I can go back through the Browns lineage and show you that there has never been a quarterback that's been successful since Bernie Kosar. Right? So for me, I don't disagree with y'all are saying, but I gotta keep it football. You feel me? And if I don't keep it football, people will get it misunderstood, mistrued, misturned around. I want to make sure that I bring y'all the full facts. Now, when the screenshots come out and Kevin saying some nasty stuff, you better best believe I'm there. But what's done in the dark comes to light, right? I think that you just give it a little bit of time. Y'all saw what I did to Brian Daboll, huh? Yeah, I've been ethering Brian Daboll for the last 2 weeks. Y'all saw what I did to Rex Ryan. If it even a sense of real truth comes out with Kevin Stefanski, I'm gonna be on his ass, and y'all know it, right? Yep. Whatever happens, we support, respect, love Shedeur no matter what. Hopefully, Shedeur won't be sabotaged, ganged up, unfairly mistreated, set up, game fixed. None of that sinister, nefarious BS. It looked like he was not set up. The Browns media are changing, flip-flopping because they want a possible future interview, or they don't want to be on the other side when he improves. Becomes better, being legendary, looking like an oddball. That's a really good point. And a lot of Browns media, they had to choose some sides this week. You know what I'm saying? They had to double down on some stuff. They had to stand on a pivot because it was getting real greasy out here. So shout out to them. I'm going to be first to say it. Shedeur Sanders is going to have a great game. I say 3 passing touchdowns, 1 rushing touchdown. I give him 300 yards, 0 interception, and a passer rating of 129.5. That's a high expectation. Now, he didn't do all that, but he did do something that no other quarterback for the Browns have done it. I like the fact you're treating Dylan fairly. Yo, Sweet Tea, ain't no other way to do it, man. And like I said, you asked Deion Sanders. Look, I might not be the biggest. I want to turn anybody off. I don't go to church every day. I don't read my Bible every day, XYZ. But I do think that living in some of the core tenets of what the Bible and what God teaches, I think that's important. And obviously treat your neighbor how you want to be treated. And also, I know there's something in there about understanding who the real enemy is, right? I remember being in church and there was this big conversation that my pastor would talk about is like, hey, understanding. And that's why I tell y'all, hey, the real enemy is the media. Hey, the real enemy are the people pulling the strings behind the scenes. It's not just Kevin Stefanski. I think Kevin Stefanski is a bad coach. I don't think it could never be that shallow. You know what I'm saying? We got to keep the main thing, and the real enemy, the real enemy. Dylan Gabriel was never the real enemy. He was never, and Shedeur speaks highly of him. And I know there's the weird jabs and stuff like that. I want y'all to know the whole perfect timing and those comments. Again, back to what I was saying about Kevin Stefanski. Y'all are right to think that he was talking shit about Shedeur. You know why? Because for 4 years, we've seen people talk shit about Shedeur, be sly about Shedeur, even with the whole taking him out of context. Remember the whole the interview? And actually, you know what? Because you know how we do. We like to take a little detour, a little detour. But what these little MAGA church runts were doing, you know what I'm saying? Oh, this is the reason why many people are interested in rooting for Shedeur Sanders.
And it's crazy. It's amazing, off of 1 week of practice, you know what I mean? This 1 week of practice.
So, they do this right here. This is what people do to Shedeur. They lie and they take him out of context when this is the full interview. This is what Shedeur said. Watch.
Yeah, Shedeur, you come here to Las Vegas and not only lead the Browns to a victory, but to your first victory as an NFL starting quarterback. Yeah. What does this moment mean to you?
He the only way I made it through it. The last 6-7 months been extremely hard.
God is the only way he made it through it. Yeah, Mr. John, what's his name? John Rudy, Root the John. My God, he looks like a albino gremlin, huh? So y'all want to lie and say, oh, he's not humble, he's not that. Well, Mr. John Root, do you hate God? And that's what I'm assuming. That's what I'm assuming with y'all. If y'all hate Shedeur, I'm gonna assume y'all hate God-fearing people, right? Y'all got a problem with people. You want people to stop talking about God, John? What's up with you? In a world that we live in now, Mr. Johnny Root on Twitter, he wants you to stop talking about God because it makes you arrogant. I had no idea, John. I didn't know speaking the truth to God, I didn't know that made you so arrogant. But hey, you learn something new every day. So I say that to say, you are not wrong to get mad at the Dylan Gabriels and the this and that. Now, I'm going to try to correct that, and I'm going to try, hey, you don't need to be on Dylan Gabriel because he's not the real enemy. I'm going to try to push you there. But if you see the way that they talk about Shedeur, if you see the way that they paint Shedeur, why would I not think that y'all are doing something nefarious? Y'all been doing something nefarious in the media since the Nebraska game. Y'all been taking him out of context for years. Y'all try to demonize a young man who says nothing but I believe in God and I believe in myself because God believed in me. Why would I not believe something that God created? You explain that to me. Should I be feeble? Should I lack self-confidence even though I'm made in the Creator's image? We gotta choose a side. Should I be ashamed of the glory that the God gives to me? Should I not speak his name as the first thing I say? Johnny Root don't want you to do it. MAGA probably don't want you to do it. But hey, I don't really care what they thinking about because we gonna keep living the way that we need to live. And that goes with, hey, Dylan Gabriel. And that's why I highlight what he does too. He gives back to his local community. He uses it throughout his college careers. Use his NIL money to give new uniforms to his old alma mater in high school. That boy got a fresh Pacifica deal. I think he does like some charity with the Pacifica deal. He's a good dude. Dylan Gabriel is not a bad guy, and he's honestly not a bad college quarterback. Y'all know how I feel about, college quarterbacks getting their shine. I think he had a pretty great career, but he doesn't have the measurables to be an NFL player. And that's the end of the story. The end of the story is Kevin Stefanski and whoever is evaluating talent did a poor job. And that's it. That's the end of the day. That really is. But I appreciate that comment. Yep, stop listening to Browns media. Don't want to hear their fake, false, phony, fraudulent. Wow, fake, false, phony, fraudulent. Hell, I like that alliteration. Narratives, nonsense, foolishness, lies, and manipulations. Manipulate, word salad, convoluted BS. Dylan's collegiate success was due to talent around him, such as blue chip schools at Oklahoma and Oregon. To be honest, he's not that good. He never elevated anyone, but his team definitely elevated him. He was around some really elite teams. I'm not mad if you argue that either. So they feared more brothers becoming head coach in college than in the NFL. Both of these markets have been off limits to us, just as all pro sports were for players for decades. 6 years because the NFL was not calling on Gabriel. He would not stay in college otherwise. So that says a lot. That is true. And he did deal with some injuries and stuff like that, but you don't stay in college 6 years if you're ready to go. You know what I mean? This is the burden of greatness. With it comes great expectations. Those destined for greatness cannot be held to the same standard as ordinary people. The ultimate irony is that his biggest critics, those who claim he only deserves to be a 5th-round pick, are the ones who hold him to the highest standards. Y'all be spitting in these comments, dog. This contradiction speaks volumes. It confirms his greatness, a quality that no draft position can diminish. If anything, the controversy has only amplified it. The fact that he has dominated the NFL news cycle since the draft is proof that he is not just a player, but a phenomenon. Go grab your crown, Shedeur. You got this. Dog, I want to speak about this because not only was this a great comment, not only did you make an elite, this right here, the ultimate irony is that his biggest critics are those who claim he only deserves to be a 5th-round pick, and he talks about the irony of holding them to that high standard. Remember when Shedeur did what he did against the Raiders, and we already knew it was coming. The goalpost started to shift. Oh well, it's just the Raiders. The Raiders are a 14th ranked PFF defense. They're by definition a mid defense. So is a rookie that y'all think is so untalented. Remember. What y'all have been, I want y'all, and this is my thing, because y'all know I put in Shedeur videos. I want y'all to just to stay consistent with the lies. If the lie is that you think Shedeur Sanders is bad at football, keep that right there, and just say it. And when he wins games, and when he start doing things he likes, and when the NFL teammates around him say the exact opposite, the people who've actually played in the NFL, When the NFL greats say things the opposite, I want you as a man who evaluates talent on your couch, stay 10 toes. You better keep saying he's bad at football. Because to say he's bad at football, but then also, oh, well, he only put up 100, 200 yards. He had a 66-yard. But I thought he was bad at football. I thought that shouldn't that be proof that he's bad at football? Are y'all, and this gets to the crux of it. Y'all are, and this is really what it is. Y'all are mad that people enjoy Shedeur Sanders. And that's the sad part about it. Like that's where it really makes me, man, I feel bad for y'all. Y'all don't even hate Shedeur because there's nothing to hate Shedeur. Well, you hate God, you hate people who are confident, you hate people who uplift their teammates and say positive things about their teammates. Is that what you say? If that, then you might just be evil. And that's okay. It's okay to be an evil person. But I think you don't hate Shedeur. I think you just hate the fact that Shedeur is so loved and so much praise. With all that love and all that admiration, it has to come some sort of jealousy. So it's okay for you to be jealous. It's okay for you to think that you deserve all this love and admiration. Because that's the only thing that I would even assume that you would continue to put these weird hoops for Shedeur to jump through. And as soon as he fails, see right there. That's why he's so bad. Dog, nobody was saying he was that bad. Like, I wish I would be consistent. I wish I would go back and check the stats. I wish I would go back and look at what the scouts were saying, what the executives were saying. You know, there could have been something off the field, right? Maybe. But nobody argues on the field unless you're just, again, a hater that hasn't been watching football. Like, I don't understand. But I love this comment. Great comment. Shedeur did not need to be in New York. Nothing wrong with that. As if we've been watching him do this. What did I say? Speed round through some of these comments. Man said Pepperidge Farms remembers. If you know. Okay, good. Hey, Pepperidge Farms remembers. Y'all know what's happening. As if we've been watching him do this forever. In protest of Shedeur shooting by the NFL, every defense that plays the Browns should protest by just letting him score every drive. I wouldn't be mad at that, but, you know, this dude is a troll. So, appreciate ya. I can tell by the profile picture. If y'all don't know, we don't have to get into dog whistles, but we're going to keep that for the second chance. I believe Shedeur is initiating these meetings. I don't know what that means. Nobody was messing with Dylan until he got out there trying to be slick, period. Then we still feel for him. Okay, I'm not mad for still feeling for him. In high school, I was listed as, I was talking about the high school. Hey, you got to do the live, man. I was counting on you. I'm sorry. I did miss the live stream. Our live stream are back tomorrow, this Sunday. I will be live. Don't you worry, all day, every day. Well, not every day, but all day we will be live on Sunday. Finally, someone said that prime equity agreement isn't real. What is wrong with people? People just like to run with lies. Let's get it. DG probably has a master's degree, and nothing wrong with that. Otto Graham, Frank Ryan, Nino Nowowski, Brian Sipe, RG3 were good Browns quarterbacks. RG3? I don't know about that. Teehee, them folks, you know who you are, hate on Deion Sanders because not only did Deion talk that talk, but he walked the walk. Ooh, much love to the Sanders family and kick ass at Shedeur. Check out what Antonio Pierce had to say about Shedeur on CBS. We did actually check that out. It was a good little watch. Antonio Pierce basically said that him and the entire Raiders organization were fully behind picking up Shedeur until he got fired. People mad that he's using nepotism the way many have for centuries. But thing is, he actually can play ball. A lot of folk who gain from nepotism usually are losers and are terrible in their respective fields. I saw all through college and into my field. Let's go 12. Baby boy, we need you to relax and away from this. What are you going to be doing? And he's not going to have a bad game. I need to find what Dayball said. I don't know what you're talking about. Bro, you need to go look at his props. 200 plus yards, 200 odds, hit 2 touchdowns, blah, blah, blah. They think he won't do that. Well, I mean, he had himself 200 yards. NFL versus Deion. We have to understand who runs the NFL. 32 unders, so that goes. No man can come alone and say this needs to happen. For example, when Deion said in his pre-draft interviews with $1 million worth of game, my son only playing for certain teams, and I already have a few of mine. Prime, you can't say that, and they use that against your son. Now, here's the thing. There's two things right. Do they use that against them? Yes. But it's not right that they use that against him. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of the thing. Ready for anything except the Ravens. Oh, man. This is hilarious. Now, I'm not even... Actually, I'm responding to this. So let's talk about the Ravens. He got thrown in middle of the game with no reps. And I'm not even... Forget the team reps. He got thrown in. And you know what most NFL players said? They said he looked decent. Like I'm just saying. So apparently he was ready. Go see what the NFL players said about him. Go see what Kurt Warner said about him. They said he did pretty decent for a guy who just came in. So, hey man, listen to the NFL players. Keep it 100. The problem is Sanders' blackface to be the face of the NFL. No, not a Sanders. Why do they think about talk before the season? College was Manning until his play was trash at the beginning. Shout out to my man Arch Manning. That's why I stopped watching that show. G. Bush and them hating behind a white guy on there, just flip-flopping every day. Things with Giants was that he told Dayball this won't work out. When shown negative plays, he committed. But sure, push the false race narrative. I never pushed. This is my issue with some of y'all. When did I say anything about race? I don't say anything about race. I said, and let me read my lips. I said Brian Daboll is a liar. That's what I said. I did not say anything about race. Why do y'all get so butthurt that bad coaches get called out? And I'm not even reading any more comments because my issue is y'all haters come to my videos. And this is why, and to my other audience members, this is why I don't indulge in those things. This is why I don't indulge in the, racism, blah blah blah, because they just try to boil you down to it. And it's very funny to look how stupid y'all look when I don't bring race into it at all, and y'all get mad that their football. I have facts, and this is why I don't go into speculation. I don't go into Kevin Stefanski hates and because when people like that comment, I ask you, go ahead, find me a timestamp where I said something about race. You're not gonna find one. You gonna find a timestamp where I gave you facts of people saying that Brian Daboll is a whining coach, that he's not good, that he doesn't instill great locker room tendencies, that his star Abdul Carter was missing, that his star quarterback his head turned to mashed potatoes because he ran him into the ground. That's what you're going to see. You're going to see me criticizing a coach for being a bad coach. Now, I know that you're afraid of race being in things. So I understand that. I understand being scared. I understand being afraid. Maybe when you grow up one day, you can address it. You can feel it. You can understand what's going on. But until then, the rejected will be respected. And it's been a fun week. So I got to read y'all's comments again. Yes, this is going to be another week of 2 comment reading videos. This time I'm reading some of my comments from my bigger videos this week. We talked about Brian Daboll this week. We talked about Dylan Gabriel this week. And of course, we talked about Shedeur Sanders this week. So we're going to start from our Brian Daboll video. If you don't remember, just to catch you up to speed, Brian Daboll was a part of the head coaching or front office regime that leaked things that said that, hey, Shedeur didn't have a great interview. He set him up, yada, yada, yada. Well, then Brian Daboll got the quarterback he wanted, ran him into the ground with like 15 concussions in 2 games, and now he got exposed for actually acting like a little girl on the sideline, and that's why they forced him out of the Giants organization. Hey, it sucks, but hey, if you're going to leak stuff, things going to get leaked. So let's hear what y'all had to say about that. Asante L says, well. The main guy who lied on Shedeur got fired. Now, I do want to clarify a few things. There is, when those leaks came out and we went and reread them, right, there were some AFC people who said, now the things that the AFC people said was Shedeur just acted like he didn't really care what we thought about him. And I respond to that, who cares? Like, it always boils down to Shedeur Sanders wasn't cock munching us enough. So if that's your biggest argument, I don't care. Like, I gotta be honest with you. And with Brian Daboll, he set up an install. He purposely put a mistake in the install, and then he confronted Shedeur. And since we read the Brian Daboll files, he probably started yelling, right? He probably started getting irate and getting a little too emotional with Shedeur. And, Brian Daboll probably didn't like that. So, hey, sucks to suck. Discard says, seems like everyone who played with Shedeur is reaping what they sowed. Kevin is next. We'll see. Boulder 7104 says, wasn't this firing predicted after they spoke ill of Shedeur to sabotage draft rankings? Karma's timing is it's perfect timing when Karma's around. You feel me? I truly believe Kevin Stefanski was guaranteed his job. He's not even frustrated after loss if you watch his pressers. Yeah, to be honest with you, and we're happy Brian Daboll got fired because he's just bad at coaching. But Kevin Stefanski is leaps and bounds worse at coaching than Brian Daboll. I've got to be honest with you. It's horrendous. They all fall down. fall down. The rejected will be respected. I ain't saying, hey, I'm not even reading your comment, Miss Andre. I'm just speaking that into existence. I gotta be honest with you. This is the same team who let Saquon Barkley walk and go win a Super Bowl. Guys, I want y'all to know, if Shedeur was, and I know, look, I'm not someone who will lie. I know Shedeur is boosting my numbers, and I'm fine with that because I rock with Shedeur. So, hey, you know what I mean? But I want you to know, if I wasn't talking about Shedeur and I was talking about some other NFL team, yapping, talking to the void, right, with my big forehead and my Texans hat, one of my biggest tenets when I talk about the NFL is, guys, some people, and this is just in life, people don't realize how bad some people are at their jobs. I tell that to my fiance. I tell that to like in normal life, I just be like, sometimes we talk about these crazy things. Why is this way? Why is that way? And sometimes I'm just like, sometimes we have to take a deep breath and realize these people are bad at their job. There's a lot of nepotism, Brian Callahan, right? There's a lot of by circumstance jobs and a lot of different situations that allow people to be in certain circumstances that they probably aren't qualified to be in. So I say all that to say that a lot of these NFL teams, the reason why they've been consistently ass is because they don't know what they're doing. They're not good at their job. I hate when people come in here and talk about, well, the NFL, they might know a little something about evaluating talent. Yeah, like the top 10 teams do. That's it. Like all the other ones are trying their hardest to find a needle in the haystack, and they fail every time. Busy Nuff said, everybody who passed on Shedeur or played with Shedeur is paying the price, while Shedeur sitting back laughing with front row seats to the Browns losing every game. Nate Edward says, man, they felt like Shedeur didn't care what they thought of him. I taught my kids and grandkids not to worry about what others think of them and focus on being the best version of themselves, because that's a distraction. They sounded like some girls trying to get a date. And look, you know, I'm a realist, and I understand that whenever you interview for an NFL position, you should, treat it like a job, treat it like this, treat it like that. Here's my issue, though. My only issue, really, it focuses on the fact that it's okay for the NFL to be wrong, right? Like, I agree. If you tell me that the interviews went bad, I will say, okay. Then I will tell you, I'm not mad at Shedeur. I'm mad that the interviewers have that standard. That in 2025, the standard is, if you don't come in here and capitulate to me, if you don't come in here and grovel to me, if you don't come into this room and treat me like I'm an NFL head coach and I deserve respect, dog, listen, are we going to come do this job or not? Do you want me to come do the job or not? Because clearly, Brian Daboll, you needed someone to save your job, and you chose wrong. Damn, that sucks. To focus on wanting people to be obedient to you instead of focusing on actually getting and winning football games. Damn, that sucks. LMAO, him and Kevin need to be unemployed lined together. I do agree. Injuries happen, but he pushed Dart and Scatterboo to go harder. Now, the Scatterboo thing, I can't put the Scatterboo thing on him. His ankle went the wrong way. I can't do that. The Jackson Dart is 100% on Brian Daboll. If you've been watching football long enough, there's no way you send a rookie quarterback out there who didn't start. He didn't come out the season start. It would be different if he was starting and was thrown to the Wolves. That's not what this was. He had weeks to, hey, let's practice protecting ourselves. Hey, let's slide. John Gruden sat his ass down and said, hey, you're not the size of Josh Allen. Slide, little, you know what I'm saying? And it wasn't happening. So I think those are the comments we're going to read from here. Let's go to the Dylan Gabriel video and see what y'all had over here. So, purpose. Oh, wow. I can't read that, but I'm reading your comment. And it says, trying to humble Shedeur is backfiring. This is the Dylan Gabriel video, and we brought up stats and facts about how Dylan Gabriel is historically bad. And again, you know, a lot of people might argue, well, if he's bad, why can't Shedeur get starting? Well, Kevin Stefanski literally just came out and said that Shedeur is just not even giving opportunities with the first team. And in fact, said Shedeur is actually working extra after practice and making sure he puts in extra work in the red zone with the young guys. But he's not giving him the reps. So I want y'all to know he's giving Dylan Gabriel all these reps because he needs them. Clearly, he needs them. They told y'all before he even stepped foot in Berea that he was ready to go. So either Kevin Stefanski's a failure or Kevin Stefanski's a failure. Like one or the other. Either you can't develop the dude that you handpicked, right? Or you pick bad. Either way, he needs to go. Continuing. We don't need no goddamn supercomputer. We need a quarterback. Hey, I tell you, I don't know how many of y'all, there are some Browns fans. Like, I want y'all to know, for all of my anti-Shedeur Browns fans, there are Browns fans who are tired of it. That are on the side of Shedeur. At this point, they're just like, please, just let me see something. Something else. John Brown said, DG threw a 10-yard over the middle curl route into the ground. 5 yards short. I've never seen that ever from a starting quarterback. This is the epitome of a lost locker room and the players' lack of belief in the coach. You know, it's so crazy because Mr. Y or Mrs. Y Hinton 3560 can point out the fact that visually this is a locker room that don't want to play. But if you ask our guy Sports Boy Tony, if you ask our guy Anthony Lima, he thinks he hasn't gotten nothing has been leaked out about that, right? Come on, dog. Losing to the Jets is rock bottom. It is. We just watched Jets on Thursday night try to win the ball game without throwing a forward pass, and it was painful. This is the second time they told Shedeur to warm up, and they didn't put him in the game. This is true. Again, if you watch the my watch-alongs every Sunday, you know what I'm saying, except the 23rd, I will not be doing y'all, and that's messed up. I think the 23rd, you know what? I'm going to make a prediction right now. I guarantee y'all, because I got to handle some business on the 23rd, some very, very important business. So I won't be there. Of course, I'll react to it afterwards, but I won't be able to do the watch-along then. I have a prediction that Shedeur is going to get his start on the first game. I can't do a live watch-along to watch. Watch what's going to happen. But just know, on our watch-alongs, we usually get the tweets that says, hey, Shedeur is warming up. Someone from the stadium usually tweets it out. So, you know, it's interesting that's happened that. Now, I will point out the last 2 years, it's happened more consistent, or 2 weeks, it happened more consistently. Maybe this means we're almost there. I don't know, but we shall see. Man, DG threw that 22-yard pass for a touchdown with all his might. This is terrible. I was at the Jets game. Dylan looks about 5'6". That's another thing. I'm all for, you know, athletes lie about, if you've ever played sports, you're supposed to lie about your height. Like that's one of the things you learn when you start getting into recruiting. Obviously, I had aspirations of being, you know, a big dog D1 player. My ACL and my height had other things to say. But, you know, you start learning that you got to give yourself an inch or two. You know what I mean? Some people give themselves 3 inches. Pause. Wow. But Dylan Gabriel is not 5'11". We don't have to lie to each other, right? You know, Drew Brees was like 5'10" or something like that. Bryce Young's like 5'9", like, you know what I mean? Like, we don't gotta lie. After playing for 6 years in college, he better have the most touchdowns. Hey, man. Dylan Gabriel does have the FBS records for most touchdowns. He also, I think, is up there, or at least top 3, and I think starts. If not, I think he has the most college football starts. Somebody fact check me, but he does have a historical college football career. He won't get fired because they are all in cahoots against Shedeur. Interesting. I'm only here for the great Shedeur Sanders. Stefanski was looking beyond crazy that entire game. All right. Good DG comments. Now, this is about Browns media getting caught lying. Again, our guy Anthony Lima, I completely exposed him. He made up this lie that, well, why haven't we heard anything from the locker room? Why haven't people just come out and say that Shedeur is just so great? Well, that's a lie. Garrett Bush pointed that out. Now, people want to say that Garrett Bush is lying, but then Garrett Bush lying was debunked by someone in the Cleveland media on 92.3 The Fan. Anthony, that's on your radio station. Somebody debunked it. Man, that's crazy, Anthony. Why aren't you in here in my comment section debunking your lies? You got another lie for us? Let us know, big dog. Let us know. But let's read some of these comments. G. Bush is fast becoming too powerful to muzzle. His personal YouTube channel will be at 60K by the end of the year, up from like 13K since in a training camp. The ultimate Cleveland sports show gets their biggest views when he is on, so they actually can't just fire him and let him walk. Can I just shout out to, you know what I'm saying? I didn't want to, I'm not going to make a video about this because I've been tweeting too much about it. But they've been talking about my man G. Bush crazy, right? And I want y'all to know, I would be defending G Bush, and I did appear on the show. Y'all go watch my clip. Shout out my man G Bush. But Garrett Bush, and I'm gonna be real with y'all. I'm gonna be really 100% with y'all. I know the sphere of content. I study this, right? Some of y'all don't know what my actual job is. My actual job actually has to do with marketing and content creation, right? So my job is to study YouTube. Some of y'all don't know that. But that's my job. So when I study my counterparts, I look and I know, first of all, I know what channels y'all are watching. Yep, I know the demographics. I know what y'all are watching. I know exactly what's going on. I know when certain channels are lying. I know when y'all get y'all's views off, and typically I don't touch those topics. I let y'all get y'all's views, and I keep going because I love videos like this. I love videos where I can lay everything out. And I'm trust me, I'm gonna land this plane. It's a big boy. It's a C-130, right? It's a big one. I am proud that I get to make Shedeur content, which obviously it's boosted, it gets the views XYZ, but I could just lie. I could just come out here and say, well, Shedeur, this trading rumor, this and that, but I don't. I give y'all receipts. If I do talk about, something that's alleged, I show you why I think it's alleged. I give you a pushback for it, right? And I want y'all to know that that's where credibility comes from. And in these, there's a lot of hustlers making Shedeur content that just want the views. This was a college football channel, right? Now I happen to have a large contingent of Shedeur fans, so I start making more of that. I make NFL content. But most of y'all are here to just make fun of me when Texas loses. Like that's the other thing y'all are here for. I know that. I know y'all, right? And I say all that to say that Garrett Bush has been in the game for a long time. He was making Browns content before it was cool to make Browns content, before I even thought about making Browns content. So there's levels to this, and I want y'all to know, if you for a second think about subscribing to me or listening to me, you better subscribe to G Bush first. I don't think any other Shedeur based content that I would tell you to go to besides that, because there's so many of these guys out here, and I'm not gonna call them by name because there's other people who do great stuff. Shout out to all the Colorado, because again, I used to make Colorado content too. I made some college football content, so shout out to all the people who make Colorado content. They usually do their thug dizzle. But there's a lot of AI channels. There's a lot of liars out here. And G Bush is not one of them. So when I see on Twitter that y'all are playing with G Bush's top, of all people, I'm gonna call some channels out. I'm not saying anything crazy about y'all, but I'm saying that G Bush is like stamped. He's Emmy nominated. Like you know what I mean? Like it's a little different to come at him and think that he doesn't have sources when he's been doing this for like over a decade, I think. But if they, I'm not even gonna call nobody's names. If they came and they slandered FB Tings, I'll be like, okay, that big-headed Texans fan, he don't know nothing. He don't got no sources. And I will be cool with that because, that's fair. What have I shown you? I don't have the history to show you. I've been covering the Browns for 10 years. I've only been covering the Browns for like 8-9 months. Now, what I make up for in time, credibility and bringing receipts, I appreciate y'all for appreciating that. But y'all tried to play with Garrett Bush? It's so funny to me. It's like y'all don't even... So many people who have and harbor hate and try to make people who speak highly of Shedeur try to discredit them. So man, y'all playing with the wrong ones. Why not talk about them AI accounts? Why not talk about FB Tings? Why not come for me? Y'all gonna come for the most stamped person and say he don't got no sources? That don't even add up. Talking about, well, if Mary Kay Kappa didn't say it. Come on, dog. Stockholm Syndrome, dog. Now y'all believe what Mary Kay has to say? That's convenient. Now y'all believe what Tony Grossi has to say? That's convenient. But yeah, there's no consistency when it comes to some of these Browns people. I genuinely think they have Stockholm Syndrome. They don't want to believe that there are a new contingent of people who is tired of what the Browns are going through. And Browns fans have to live with it, right? Now, as a Texans fan, I have to live with my ugh. But, there's nothing worse than being a Browns fan. So I pity y'all. I really do. I'm gonna pray for y'all. I'm gonna pray for y'all little niggas. You know what I mean? Like, cause y'all struggling. Y'all would rather think that Shedeur Sanders is awful and pretend that Kevin Stefanski is a good quarterback evaluator. And now they're like, bring Ty Simpson in, bring Fernando Mendoza in. For what? For what offense, guys? I'm genuinely asking Browns fans, for what? You want Ty Simpson to sit on the bench for a year? Or him get thrown out there, everybody say that he's great, and then he gets mauled by Baltimore. Because remember, Dylan Gabriel was their choice. They could have had Jackson Dart. They could have had Cam. Well, they couldn't have had Cam Ward. But they did not need to pick Shedeur. They didn't need to pick Dylan Gabriel. And you want me to think that after handpicking and reaching for a player, that, oh, don't worry, this draft's going to be different. Stockholm Syndrome, dog. Go get a mental evaluation, please, if you're a Browns fan. I will no longer give 92.3 The Fan views. Thank you for stating the facts and keeping it informed. They've been telling lies for 400 years. It flows like water. I can't wait for the flashbacks of everything he said negative about Shedeur to be thrown back in his face. These receipts are ridiculous. Lima is a weirdo stalker. Cleveland Browns beat reporter Jason listening to G. Bush wanting to explode in his disagreement. Players are not talking to Jason because they know he is Stefanski's mouthpiece. This is what I'm talking about. You and me both know that Mary Kay Cabot, Tony Grossi, some of these people, they have direct links to the Cleveland Browns. And hey, I'm going to give that to you all day. But some of these people are propagandists, right? Some of these people are spewing with the Browns and telling the messaging that the Browns want them to give out there. Y'all not slick. Y'all think we idiots. Y'all think this is the first NFL team I've been monitoring? No, the Browns are just the most insane. And shout out to Bird Shoe. She said, this may be your best episode yet. I wish it would go viral. I'm going to share it for sure. And this is where I'm going to end this video. Because this video, the Brian Daboll video and the Dylan Gabriel, these are probably some of my most proud videos. Now, they're not the most viewed. They each have 20,000, 24,000. And that's not a small amount of views by any stretch of the imagination. But I want to show y'all, I'm going to go by popular. It is by no means one of my most popular videos. And by the way, for the people who say I only make Shedeur content, I mean, you know what I'm saying? I got some Shiloh in there. I got some NIL content in there. I got some. Wait. This is another one. I got some LeJounte in there. I got some. What's it called? What's his name? Isaiah Augustus. I got some Jimmy Horn. Like before y'all call me. First off, I am a Shedeur Glazer. Sorry about it. But there's more than meets the eye. This is another one of my favorite videos of all time. My man, Josh Huff or Coach Huff. But I say that to say the reason why I was so proud about those videos is it's not about and don't worry, this is all a lie. Trust me, it's all a lie. The reason why I say that I'm so passionate and I think those are some of my favorite videos that I've put together is because those are videos in which like there's a lot of, like I said, receipts. There's a lot of facts and a lot of just blatant lies, and I was able to. You know, it felt like a long time coming. It felt like I can see what y'all are doing, but I can't prove it. Hey, when the leaks came out about Shedeur, I told y'all I don't believe it. I said, hey, I could believe that maybe he had a bad interview, but the way that y'all are describing it, oh, he's so entitled. Oh my God, he's so that. No, I know Shedeur to be the exact opposite because of who his dad is. And that's not me being biased. I would tell y'all if I thought Shedeur would do that, but I've watched the way he interacts with people. I've watched the interviews. I remember the first time he talked to Cleveland Browns media, and they were surprised that he was a decent human being. They whispered under his breath, how can you not like that guy? Do y'all remember that clip? Pepperidge Farm remembers, right? I remember that clip. And I say all that to say, for a good bit, or 2 or 3 months of this channel, as we were making more Shedeur content, there were so many comments about, man, you're just, whatever, doing this for Shedeur. You're just, you're delusional. You're this and you're that. And it's like, I promise you, I promise you, this is not the channel for delusion. This is a channel that speaks out about the NIL. This is a channel that highlights phenomenal head coaches, phenomenal leaders of men, right? This is what this channel has been about. And I'm sorry that Dion has shown to be that. I'm sorry that I believe Shedeur has shown to be that. I'm going to be fair. And it feels real good to know what I saw in those interviews, what I saw on the field. Shedeur is one of the most and this, I'm going to end it right here. Shedeur is this is the early argument I had. He's one of the most well-documented athletes in the modern era. Maybe LeBron, maybe. He's been on television since he was in middle school. And y'all want me to think that he's the same one that is just all of a sudden becomes entitled and he starts showing his wrist in interviews? Like, I never bought it. That's why there's so many views about Shedeur right now. Because there's a whole contingent that doesn't buy it either. They don't believe the lies y'all are trying to tell about Shedeur. Now the truth's coming out. But comment down below what you think. Again, on these comment reading videos, I read all the comments. I appreciate y'all, man. Keep rocking and rolling. Y'all be great. Y'all be phenomenal. Like this video if you like it. Dislike if you don't. Subscribe if you like football content, man. We'll see you next time. Peace.